We've all heard about smart technology getting all wired up in your home. In my home, I can just talk to the house and the lights go off and on. And actually, the tea kettle does too. It's kind of interesting. I can warm up water just by speaking, but I can also control my thermostats by speaking to it. And they do more than that too. They begin to really understand what we want for overall comfort. So, to talk deeper into this subject, I've asked my friend Nathan Shafer to join me here on the program today. He's an expert in heating and cooling. Hey, Nathan, how you doing?
Good, Jim. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome.
So, we've heard a lot of talk lately, and more homeowners are installing what's called a smart thermostat. And like I said, you can do things remotely from a device like your smartphone, or sometimes you can just talk to the system in your house and it can be hooked up to that and it can lower it or raise it. But even more so than that, it's a little creepy, but it's kind of neat. It begins to understand what you and your family want and need in your home. Explain how that's a benefit.
Yeah, like you mentioned, there's so many benefits to it, and we see a lot of different needs in people utilizing this. And so, whether it be from visually impaired, maybe can't see the buttons, or say, hey, they need something to be able to speak to whether it be, hey, I want to be able to monitor it while I'm on vacation or gone, and know if the humidity level gets too high in the house because maybe that's caused by a water leak, or maybe water sensors are tied into it,
Mm.
or that my system's broke. They can call us. I mean, they're all so many different reasons. Or going to the vacation house, let's turn it down before we get there so it's comfortable when we get there. To that, yeah, starting to learn your patterns, right? Where do you normally keep it? How long does it normally take to get back to that point? Going off of the algorithms and stuff that those thermostats do, that increases the overall efficiency of the system, especially with the newer high efficiency inverter driven systems and stuff and how they operate, but as well with the overall comfort of the house. And so lots of pros and benefits to having that smart thermostat, depending on how you're wanting to use it.
Yeah, and it's another computer in your home, but it's not that expensive. And
Right.
I found that they last a long time. They don't give you much trouble at all. And you'll tend to use only a percentage of what it's capable of doing, but that's fine. It's true of anything else. Our cars and trucks are just loaded with things we don't use. Same with our smartphones. But it's true. And
For
and
sure.
so
Yeah.
so you don't need to use everything, but if you want to, it's really amazing what it can do. But just for peace of mind, if you're away on vacation, for instance, you can see what's going on in the home with it. You can see if it's operating, if it's kept the temperature down or up. And, in the wintertime, if there's cold weather coming, a lot of cold weather, and, you're worried about the house freezing, you can see what the temperature is and you can raise it or lower it. And you can change it from heating to air conditioning. And it can even report back to your service provider. So, a
Hmm.
company like Shafer can get that information too, which is kind of nice for maintenance and so forth.
Absolutely. I mean, it could potentially, depending on what you're wanting to use it and how you use it, save you thousands, right?
Mm.
And just headache and stuff, just something like that. I mean, that has personally happened to me. We were gone, out of state at my wife's family's house. I just so happened to check my app because I knew the weather was bad back home. It was wintertime, and check my app. I'm like, oh my goodness, my system's not running.
Mm.
And I have alerts set. It just hadn't quite hit the alert yet. So once it hits a certain temperature in my house, it's going to email me and text me. I get that alert, and so a very simple phone call. Call a family member, call my dad. Hey, can you run over and unlock the house and check it? System's not running. Goes over, checks it out, and was able to fix it just like that. Right? It was a simple glitch in the system when the power had went out, and we're back up and running. But if I wouldn't have had that, nobody would have known. Nobody would have checked. House would have froze up. Water lines busted. I mean, just been a major catastrophe. So yeah, lots of awesome. And like you said, you don't have to use everything. Sometimes people will be reluctant to get one because like, man, that's going to be too complicated to use, or I don't need all these different things and bells and whistles. But like you said, you can utilize just the one or two or three or all of the areas that you want to utilize in that stat. And for the most part, most of them are actually just as easy, if not easier, to use than your traditional stat thermostat.
Oh, absolutely. They're not very complicated. And there's all kinds of things that I don't use on my thermostat.
Yeah.
So I just use what I want to use it for. And it's just a great way to go. if you actually have to get up and either, and this is old, this is like an old Honeywell, turn it or slide it, okay, that might be old. It might be time to upgrade, and it's not that expensive. Really, for a couple $100, you can get into a decent one, right? And it's not that bad, and it's really the way to go. If you've already upgraded to a smartphone, and that's for some of us who are a little older, right? We're like, all right, we went from that desktop and now we're using a smartphone. Well, if you're using a smartphone, you can usually easily use a smart thermostat and you can tie it in with it. The app's right on the phone. Is so cool.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Nathan, thank you so much as always. Thanks for helping us out here to answer these questions. All of Nathan's information is located in the description of this podcast. Reach out to him and he and his team would love to help out. Thanks again, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Jim. We'll see you later.